This is optimism mixed with the best. You get it? What you're seeing is a beast in the flesh. I'm vetted. I don't need to try speak.
Hello, everyone. This is Andreas Polkwater Guy. Today, I'm moderating on the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man episode 3 and 4. This week, of course, the live recap right now of these episodes. Today, I'm here with the awesome amigos here, the three amigos here, you know. So, Jeff S, TrueKnowledge, and Cyberneticshark. Yeah. So, how's everyone doing so far?
Good to be here.
We are here. We are here.
Good to be here with good people.
Yes, that's true. And it's good to be here after a very exciting time. We had trailers. That's cool. We had two Marvel ones, was really great. We got one from another franchise, but we're not going to discuss that because it was boring. I mean, if you're a fan of that franchise, good for you. Anyway, so before we get into the episode recaps, did either of you saw Fantastic Four First Steps and the big sport teaser of Thunderbolts by any chance, folks?
I watched both of them at least a dozen times.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get first to Fantastic Four's First Steps. I think that was the big talk here. Finally seeing the full look of the Fantastic Four, the first family of Marvel, and pretty much seeing the full film in the vision of Max Shackman and Kevin Feige and this whole because this is going to be the beginning of Phase 6. If anyone to know, Serenity now. Anyway, how do I say it? Thunderbolts is going to be the final movie for Phase 5, which is crazy. And then the beginning of Phase 6 is Fantastic Four. So, starting with you, Cyberneticshark, what's your thoughts on the teaser trailer for First Steps? Did you like it? Was it better over Superman? Go ahead.
So, it's an okay first trailer. It's not the greatest trailer I've seen from Marvel Studios. Definitely like the fact we got to see briefly Galacticus. I thought that was great. I thought the Thing looked pretty decent. He looked a lot better than he did in the 2014 one that they did, or 2015 one that they made. But overall, the trailer was pretty basic. I mean, it gave you kind of an idea of kind of where they're going because it's supposed to be very 60s retro in their time frame. So I definitely think it has a lot of potential. It does look, quite interesting. I definitely think it's better than the Superman trailer. And I think that it has some decent potential. I mean, I think the Human Torch looks pretty decent. Still not on board with Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic. I think that he's a great actor, but I don't think he is Mr. Reed Richards. And but definitely it's a small teaser trailer that gives you a little bit. It's not the best, it's not the worst. Definitely gives you a few things that are interesting and fun. But for me, it seems like it has some potential. So hopefully it'll be a decent film.
Thank you. Jeff, any opinions on the trailer? What are your thoughts on First Steps?
Sorry, I'm talking to Cyber in the private chat. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Very important. But I'll give you my opinions on the Fantastic Four trailer. Anyways, yeah, I mean, just I don't want to mirror Cyber, completely or anything like that. But Galactus, like we talked about last night, Andres, over on your channel, does look really cool. That shot of him is like a good shot of him, like the angle of the shot is like a really good angle, right? So that's very exciting. But it's very short. It's a very short teaser. And like I'm not as anal about like the Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, deal as Cyber is. I'm more whatever about it. But at the same time, though, like I already said, before about this, like, that's what I see when I look at the trailer. I'm analyzing him. I want to see him as Reed Richards and like whether or not it plays, and the little bit that they showed of him really doesn't give you much to work with. You know what I'm saying? I guess he looks okay, in terms of his resemblance. It's I mean, at the end of the day, like the bottom line is he doesn't look like a comic book accurate version of Reed Richards. He just doesn't look like that as a human being or whatever. Like he doesn't look like that. He doesn't have the facial structure or whatever, or the bone structure, or like the look or whatever that your typical Reed Richards looks like in the comics. But I still feel like he can be an effective Reed Richards just because he's Pedro Pascal. So if that makes sense, like I feel like that kind of can combat the other stuff potentially. If he just pulls off the character well, right, and they make his powers look good, which we didn't see in that teaser. As long as that he does that and they do that, I think he'll be effective. I mean, as the leader of the team and as one of the key cogs of the Fantastic Four. One of the main characters. I like how all the characters look. They all look really good. The Thing looks really good, and the Human Torch looks awesome. They did a really good job with it. His flame on looks great. I'd like to see some action, maybe in the next trailer, like some actual fighting or whatever, like of some kind. That would be helpful. Yeah, I'm digging the chick that plays Sue Storm. I think she's going to do a good job. It looks like she's going to be an important character in the film. It looks like like she's going to be prominent as a part of the kind of leading the group. So I think that at least based off that teaser, she looks like she's going to be really good in the film, and that'll help. Every little bit will help. But there's still a lot we don't know about the movie. We really don't know like really who the main villain is, and how this other Silver Surfer character is going to play a role in the movie, right? Like that's a factor. I'm sure we'll see that character in the next trailer probably. So yeah, it's a good teaser. I'm not seeing a lot of people putting it down online. People seem up like pretty high up, pretty up on it. So I like it.
Yeah. First up, I think everything so far, this is the most passion project for the MCU. I mean, it's a big deal. We didn't discuss this last night, of course. I think if everyone, I think this generation doesn't really know how big a deal Fantastic Four is for the comic book industry and superhero in general. I mean, these are the guys that started the Marvel universe. I mean, of course, Marvel was still there, but like this was the modern Marvel universe that started for this team particularly. This is how Spider-Man, X-Men, and the Avengers came because of these guys. And plus, historically and pop culture in general, like they helped to like usher in big culture shakeups, like Black Panther first appeared in the Fantastic Four issue, and so it's a really big deal. And it was a shame that the Fox movies, the Fox live action movies didn't live up the potential of that team, like versus the X-Men franchise. Like at least that franchise, like at least live up its potential. When it was good. When they're not bad as movies. But we're not getting into that. But so I think you totally see the love and care that the Marvel Studios are doing, that you kind of felt in the first phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, like it's totally in this trailer, and it's good. It's a small teaser, but you could tell the love and care that they're putting onto this project. Of course, we got 2 other Marvel movies, but this is a much big deal, and just like the Superman one. This is important in the multiverse saga and all that moving forward for the cinematic universe. So, and I see where you guys coming from the Pedro Pascal. Yeah, he doesn't look like it, but I think the few dialogue we have with Reed Richards, I think he is Reed Richards. Like the fact that he feels guilty of what happened to the 4 the 3 members of the Fantastic Four, especially Ben Grimm, tells me they understand who Reed Richards is as a person. Like the reason that he made them to be public superheroes because he didn't want to make the thing feel like Australian, and like feel alone because of his superhero, like because he doesn't turn off his ability like the others, so he's stuck as a rock monster. So he took the risk of him, Sue, and Johnny to reveal their identity so that he feels not alone with this situation and all that. So I think that small trailer did a really good job of telling me that they understand Reed Richards in the writing perspective. I get Patrick Patel doesn't look like Reed Richards, but I think so far he's performing as Reed Richards as I expected him from the comic books. Of course, people talk about why we didn't see the stretchy powers. Look, people, they're still doing the special effects, so it made sense. So I was not bothered by it. I think that it was not a big deal. We see the other, stuff that was like cool, seeing the Human Torch, the Thing, and Invisible Woman's powers. Galactus. I mean, I was happy to see Galactus full on comic book accurate. So I think that was a good thing. Yeah, so I think the teaser trailer was really good and did the job of giving us the vision that they're trying to do for this new version of Fantastic Four. So that's good. And I agree with Cyber. Not a good, it's not the greatest trailer, but it's a really good teaser trailer that tells you about the tone and the sort of vision that Marvel Studios is having for this film. Anything else to say about the Fantastic trailer before we move on to Thunderbolts? I mean, there's this. I don't know what else we could say about this teaser. I think it was a good one. By the way, the music by Michael Ciano, really great. I really dug it. I love that towards the end of that trailer, we hear the choir saying Fantastic Four. That was really epic and really cool. All right, so if anyone has anything else to say about this teaser, I'm moving on to the Thunderbolts. So it was some rumors that we were going to get a teaser, like another trailer for the Thunderbolts, a big sport teaser, and we got it yesterday, so it was really cool. And starting with you, Jeff, your thoughts on Thunderbolts, the teaser trailer that we had from yesterday. Do you like it? You thought it was better than the Fantastic Four? What's your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know if I really want to. I don't know if I really want to get into comparisons between those 2 trailers. The totally different kinds of movies. You know what I'm saying? So that's really hard to do. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. They packed a lot more into the Thunderbolts trailer. It's a lot longer. So from that perspective, I guess like it was the more enjoyable trailer out of the two, probably. Like, you know, if I had to like, you know, just say that. But you know, like that's kind of like something that you would expect. You know, I mean, again, the Fantastic Four trailer was really short. I really I like the Thunderbolts trailer. I feel like it's a nice step up from the first trailer. You know, it goes up, you know, in direction. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's that's good to see, right? You know, you want that in the trailers. You want to see that like that improvement. You know, some better scenes. You know, see the characters do different stuff. I'm still not, you know. I like the teasing, but not really showing, you know, a lot of Century, right? You know, like they kind of held him back a little bit, right? You know, like when you did see him, it was kind of like, you know, like the camera angle was kind of obscured or whatever, you know, to where you really couldn't see him, you know, but he was there. You know, he looked cool. He's you know, I mean, he's you know, an important part of the film. I just you know, hey Raymond. I just you know, I don't quite, you know how he's going to play out, like, you know, what his role is going to be in the story. You know, I'm assuming he's going to be like an anti-hero that is a villain for like a section of the film or whatever, and then like, you know, gets defeated and becomes like a good guy, kind of, is what I want to expect, sort of, you know what I mean? But the way that they made it look in that trailer, it looks like the final battle or whatever, you know, is like against him. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how that trailer like kind of like makes it look like, you know, is like, you know, he's the final opponent that they're going to have to fight at the end of the movie, right? So it's all very exciting. You know, like I love the makeup of the Thunderbolts. I love the characters that they selected to be in the Thunderbolts, you know. And you know, I liked you know, seeing more of Bucky in this Thunderbolts trailer than we saw in the other one. You know, I always like seeing Yelena, so like, you know, she looks good. Like she looks like she's gonna be really good in the film, you know. And it was cool seeing Vale, you know, in the beginning of the movie, you know, and everything, right? Like, you know, I mentioned last night that I enjoyed that scene, seeing Vale like in front of that government panel or whatever, you know, and being like, you know, there is no Avengers, you know what I'm saying? You know, like confirming that there are no Avengers team, you know. So yeah, it's a solid trailer. You know, I think that they could probably, it wouldn't hurt for them to drop one more if they can before the film comes out, you know. And I'm sure they will.
No, I agree. I think it will be either like towards the end of March or the beginning of April, before May comes around. That's probably when we're gonna probably get another trailer for the Thunderbolts. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Jeff. I like this trailer. By the way, it's good that we talked about the Thunderbolts. Is Sentry, if anyone doesn't know, he has this like Two-Face kind of persona. So like he is Sentry, but he's going another personality called the Void. So that's the main villain. So we having Sentry.
He becomes the Void, like when he uses his powers or whatever at a certain level. he
Yeah.
becomes the void or whatever. That's how it works. That's how that works out. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know that they're gonna do all that in the movie, Andre.
I don't know. I think they. I mean, with this trailer, I think they are going to do it. I mean, the fact that we saw shadows, like this, like demon, like not like like this, like really dark thing covering New York. It seems like it. I mean, they're confirming that, but we need to see how they're going to translate that in Thunderbolt. So we'll see in the next trailer if they're going to reveal more of that. But anyway, Cyber. I mean. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with the Void, but again, just if they're.
I just think it's a lot to explain. That's all. That's all my comment is. I'm saying that I think it's a lot to try to that extends that goes beyond his powers. Like just his power set alone, just his powers are really cool. You know what I mean? Getting into the void and all that, part of it and all that. I don't know if they'll want to take it that far. That's all I'm saying. I could be wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I mean, we need to see if they're going to do it or not. There's always, a 50 chance or something like that. But Cyber, your thoughts on the Thunderbolts? Like it? Tell me your thoughts, sir.
I absolutely loved this trailer. I thought it was fantastic. We recently rewatched all the trailers, being the wife, and so we were watching this one a dozen times, like I said, and the music in it was fantastic. And I loved how they kind of gave us just kind of a silhouette of Sentry, giving you kind of an idea of that he's there, he's present, but what is actually his part in the film. And it's great that we have kind of that beginning little sequence in the trailer showing Val again, because we got a little bit of Val in one of the previous trailers too as well. We see her kind of saying, we still need superheroes, even though the Avengers are kind of disassembled and all this kind of stuff. And I think that is kind of interesting that she's trying to assemble a new crew. And we kind of already knew that was kind of going on when we saw her throughout the other films and TV shows she was a part of and stuff like that. So I think they did a good job there. And I think that's a really good little beginning take on this trailer. But I mean, anytime David Harbour pops up as Red Guardian in any of the trailers, he's absolutely freaking fantastic. And I love it where they're all tied up and and he just starts laughing. That was absolutely freaking epic. And I like that, they kind of show Bucky kind of being the main kind of, head honcho type of guy character. And we've kind of seen that throughout the trailers a little bit, but this one definitely, we got a lot of more of that, especially when he is telling him, you have something better to do, stuff like that. So you definitely get that feeling that the Winter Soldier's kind of in charge there. But I think it's a solid trailer. I mean, a lot of great action. It shows us a little bit of what we've seen in other trailers and a whole bunch of new stuff. Like I said, more silhouettes of, Sentry. We see them kind of, saying that they need to work together to beat this ultimate threat that's going to be going on and that kind of stuff. So I think that it has a really, strong, really good trailer here that really expands on what we've already seen in the previous two trailers. So I think they did a really good job with it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really fantastically done. And I love that it gave us some extra and more stuff to, to be on the lookout for in the film. And I think it's going to be a solid film. It looks like it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, I agreed. Speaking of Dave Harper, great actor. I loved Ray Guardian. He was so funny in Black Widow. And I still like that they still get his humor still in this trailer. I mean, I love how he's a big fan of the he's a big fan of Winter Soldier. When he got captured and he's like, oh my god, he's leading us, and he starts laughing so maniacally. It's just so just warms my heart. And of course his funny lines of naming them the Thunderbolts is we should call ourselves the Thunderbolts, it's so funny. But yeah, and I agree. I like how, how they're slowly showing us Sentry in the trailer. I really dug it. I like his voice. that he's putting on. That was a like really cool like superhero voice from Century. So I kind of like that. What else? I think that's really it. I know. Before we leave, I know there was another major trailer, the Jurassic World Rebirth. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that. That was another major one. I like. Are you guys fans of Jurassic Park?
I don't really have anything to say about it, to be honest with you. It looked cool. That's about it.
Yeah, yeah. Cyber, did you see that? Any thoughts on that?
I think it looks really fun. I think that it has a lot of great potential. And I mean, seeing Mahershala Ali in it, I think is just right there is the cake for me. Like that really makes me want to see the film. I mean, everyone wants to watch it because of Scarlett Johansson, eye candy, hello. But other than that, like the movie itself is kind of an interesting thing that, InGen, created these dinosaurs, and then they had these mutants that they created that are left on this island, which I'm still trying to determine if this is supposed to be the same island that we saw in Jurassic Park 3. Because if you remember Jurassic Park 3, when Dr. Grant comes back in the picture and he has to go help try to save Liam H. Macy and T. Leone's kid, they're on a island where they made the dinosaurs and they kept them there until they were ready to go to the park. So I'm trying to figure out if this is a whole other new island or if this is supposed to be that same island in Jurassic Park 3. So that intrigues me too. So I think that it has a lot of great potential. And the fact that they're bringing these like mutant like dinosaurs is definitely something I knew that they would try to push to the next level for like, continuing these films, because where else would you go, except for, you can only show so many dinosaurs and they've already pretty much shown all of them. And so it's great to see them kind of like taking it out of the box and given these mutant types. So I think it's going to be a fun film. It looks like it's going to be fun. And, with Garrett coming back to direct it, Gareth, I'm really looking forward to seeing what he brings to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so out of the trailers we got in this week, I thought this was the weakest. Not because it was bad. I just thought like, okay, here's another, Jurassic World, and it doesn't really matter, right? Like this movie is gonna make billions of dollars. Like everyone loves dinosaurs, so I'm like, whatever. It's gonna make money. It's not like a big deal. There's only two things I'm gonna see it because, as you were saying for Cyber, Scarlett Johansson, love her. She's hot, so like already got me to see the film. Yeah, it's good, Cyber. You brought up the second island. If anyone doesn't understand what Cyber's talking about, he's talking about Site B. That's the secondary island that we got discovered by in The Lost World, where John Hammond say that the secondary island was, to breed the dinosaurs before transferring them into the main park, Jurassic Park, in the 1993 version. Yeah, I am very curious if it's that Site B, but in the trailer, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. They say something was in like a coast or something like that, but I don't know. We'll see in July where we're at with that. But yeah, so I thought that was a good share. And just to wrap up the trailer thing, I know, Jeff, I don't know, I know you're not a big fan of Mission Impossible. Cyber, do you see Mission Impossible, the Final Reckoning trailer that they had?
I did not see the new one, but I have seen the one that they released before this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just quickly get my thoughts on that, and then we'll move on to do our review. It was a good teaser trailer. If you love Mission Impossible like me or Cyber, fantastic. Great action sequences from Tom Cruise doing his usual stick, which is great. Great to see the characters back. It seems like they're honing in that this could be the final chapter maybe of Mission Impossible, because in this teaser trailer they show like previous clips from the movies, from the first one and other ones. So we'll see if this is going to be the final movie, maybe not, but so I thought it was a good teaser trailer. But yeah, all right, let's Jeff, do you see the Mr. Possible teacher? No, we're good.
I don't care.
Okay, good. All right, let's move on to friendly name Spider-Man. So episode 3, aka called title Secret Identity Crisis. So we start with the closing moments from episode 2, where Norman Osborn discovers that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and we see the scene where he and Peter are talking, and Peter is trying to kind of trick Norman that he's not Spider-Man, but he tells Peter that his secretary is safe with him, and it should not be worried, and he offers him a chance to work together to improve his crime fighting skill. So after that meeting happens, Peter is with Nico. They're playing video games, and he learns the latter that is a foster kid. So we learned that Nico is like a foster kid, and so they talk about the kind of this is a good sequence where Peter is kind of struggling either not to continue the internship at Oscorp, because now that Norman is aware of his identity, and Nico is trying to encourage him to maybe quit if he's feeling discomfortable continue on with the internship. But he doesn't do that. Instead, he gets a call from Norman. He goes to this empty restaurant that Norman kind of booked, and obviously he unsuccessfully tries Peter unsuccessfully tried to trick again with Norman by claiming the whole thing was a prank. But Norman tells him that the security cameras that captured this was invented by him, and he was the only person that controls these surveillance. So no one really knows about this except him. So he reassures again that he's the only one that saw the footage, and he reveals the boy that he saved his son Harry from the 2 episodes ago, and he's thanking him, and he wants to help Spider-Man to be a better hero. And so, and this is really cool. We get the twist where it promoted him to investigate Spider-Man. So he let him to intern the 4 interns that we have in Oscorp, and convinced that one of them was the hero. So that's why he did the internship. Really cool, really neat twist there. I didn't expect that. That could be the reason he did that. And it turns out that Norman has a lot of ideas how to make a better Spider-Man. But while Peter is reluctant, Norman gives a $1,000 check to go in some way, changing his mind with that, especially with the bills now piling out for Aunt May. Wrapping up the scene, we see that she's even considering selling some stuff from Uncle Ben's stuff to make ends meet, which was really sad. And I thought that was a really great scene to show what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man, So let me stop there.
Hey, we always know there's always one way she can make some money.
Oh my God, no, please, no. Making bakery. That's how she's gonna make ends meet.
No. Boom, checka, pow, wow.
No. Oh my God, no. No, you're right, guys. She's gonna make the white vintage penis work, definitely. But anyway, who are gonna start? I guess start with you, Jeff. What you thought about this beginning?
Aunt May gets a part-time job at the massage parlor. How about that?
Yeah, and the massage parlor. Yeah, she's gonna be top manager for that.
That Disney would love that, right, Cyber? That'd be right up their alley.
So go ahead, sir. What you thought about the
yeah.
Up to the hunt.
I gotta look at my notes, sir. I actually I'm taking this TV series so seriously. I'm taking notes again now, sir. That's how serious I am about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man over here. You feel me?
Right. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm getting into it deep now. So I don't know. I forget the name of the best friend character, the Chinese girl or whatever. Or or Asian chick or whatever she is. I don't know what her name is. I can't remember. Nico. Okay, Nico. Nico gets a lot of screen time, like so far. You know what I mean? Like not a lot in episodes 3 and 4, but like she's right there in the beginning of episode 3, like right off the bat, and she's right up Peter's ass. She's kind of like I don't really see like how she's a big addition, how she's really much of an addition to the show, you know, so far. Like that's my take on her. I'm just putting it out there right now. I already kind of like said some stuff about her last week, you know, that I thought that she was kind of wishy-washy, you know, as a character. You know, so I just don't know about her. I really don't know what to think of, I guess because this is an alternate universe Spider-Man, they can make it to where Harry Osborn is a good guy now or whatever, and he's not going to be a villain or whatever in the series, and he's going to be like the Tony Stark or whatever, you know, for Peter Parker in this show or whatever or something like that. That's almost like what if type stuff, you know, like that they went in that direction. That kind of surprised me. And I can't believe that they had somebody learn Peter's secret identity that quickly in the show, you know, like usually they put that off in Spider-Man stuff when they make the movies, when they, you know, all that, they put it off, you know, like they make it to where like nobody learns for a while. You know what I mean? You know, Osborn found out in like 10 minutes, you know, and he had a really good plan too to figure it out. His plan was smart, you know, to like figure out who was Spider-Man. He basically already knew like who it was. So that was pretty interesting, you know. There was a Captain America reference. That was interesting, considering the fact that this is supposed to be non-MCU, you know. And there's other references later on that we can talk about. You know, it was sad seeing Peter seeing the past due bills or whatever, you know. I didn't see how much was on that check that Osborn gave Peter. I didn't know that was $100,000. I couldn't tell. You know, if that's how much he gave him, that's a lot of money. You know, sad that they may was having to sell the stuff or whatever, you know. Yeah, I don't know. You know, are we going as far as where like they go to the school and like, you know, Peter's hanging out with that jock dude?
No, that was the stopping point. The bill.
Oh, okay. I'll stop there then, sir.
Yeah, no worries, sir. You did a good job. I want to give you an A+ white vision penis. Sir,
okay, thank you so much.
Yes. Hey, it's my variation. I'm gonna make the white penis joke here. All right, folks. Anyway, and you know, you guys did the anime joke, so I had to get some joke here. Anyway, Cyber, up to the beginning, up to the end where, you know, Spider-Man is talking to, you know, hot Aunt May, and the bills he sees. That's the end point. Go ahead, sir.
So this episode it's pretty off to a good solid start. You know, the fact that, you know, Norman Osborn wants to work with Spider-Man and work with, you know, Peter is cool. I like that. I like how they have kind of that kind of Tony Stark camaraderie like they did in Homecoming. You know, the whole Nico thing, I agree with Jeff. I think she's kind of a character they don't really need. Kind of similar to the jock. I don't think they need him either. I think he's a waste of a character too as well, especially with where his storyline is going. I think it's the stupidest thing ever, but I just think it's pointless. It takes away from what's good in the series and the episodes. And I mean, of course, you know, we have, you know, the Aunt May thing, which was, you know, it is sad, you know, that they're, you know, ends meet is they're just getting by ends meet. And Peter sees that as an opportunity after having that, you know, dinner meeting with Norman. And I think that part was really fun because how excited Norman gets as he's like discussing about suit options and stuff like that. Like, and almost like how Peter should be about making a new suit for Spider-Man and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of funny how they had that kind of like him being super excited about that and wanting to be like helpful to Peter. And I think that's interesting. And then of course you find out that, he also is, very thankful for, Spider-Man saving his son from the incident that we saw in the previous episodes. And I think that's interesting that, Norman realizes that too, that, Peter saved Harry and everything and stuff like that. And they have that whole deal. And I think that there's a lot of good chemistry between, Norman and Peter there. I think there's some really great conversation there. Once again, kind of showing why Peter is Spider-Man, showing that he's all about, saving and helping others other than himself. As we saw in that sequence, I thought they did a really good job there showing who Spider-Man is, who is Peter Parker, and they did a really good job there, I thought. Very, fun beginning leading up to, the Aunt May sequence. That was pretty slow and basic. Some fun, interesting things going on there, that, kind of get the episode going, which, leads into some better stuff as we get along into the episode. But overall, I think the beginning is pretty straightforward, has some interesting moments, and definitely, gives you some of that, very much Peter Parker, feeling vibes storyline.
Thank you, Cyber. Fantastic beginning. I think this is where I start to like more of the show. I think this just shows the confidence of the storytelling. Because I mean, the first 2 episodes were like kind of like pilot base for the show. Just getting introduced to this world and stuff like that. Again, the whole Nico thing, the friend is kind of troubling. You kind of wish that it was either Gwen Stacy or Mary Jane. But I mean, so far I kind of like the character. She's not like she's not like really bad. I don't think they're forcing her too much, like compared to other things that I've seen in these projects. The jock person. See, I like what they do with the jock person because he's going to be a major villain in Spider-Man as Tombstone. So I understand what they're trying to do here, especially when we get into this episode entering episode 4, what they're going to do with that, because there's more they're doing with this character. So I agree with you guys about the female friend, but I disagree with the Lonnie character. I think there's potential with Lonnie as a character and be maybe soon a major villain for Spider-Man in this universe. But yeah, so that's my thoughts. I think the beginning was good, and just tells me that they understand who Spider-Man is. So just moving forward, so we then get this like couple, a couple of crooks, just are in the alley. We get this boyfriend is like looking at the phone, like he's probably like contacting the supplier or buyer, whatever, because he has I think the girlfriend has the bag of cash. He gets the text where they need to dump the cash in the dumpster, and then it's kind of weird. So she does it, but then all of a sudden, very cool, the garbage all of a sudden sprouts legs and leaves, and then it leaves out a case that boasts the same logo as that like fire guy that we saw in last episode. So building up this narrative of the I guess the inventor or dealer, whatever. And so we don't see what happens. So we kind of cut to black. Then after that, we come back to the school stuff here. So Lonnie Lincoln kind of continues to prove himself as a good friend to Pierre. And you see him like buddy Pierre, and of course the female friend. He offers to like buy the or does he offer lunch for them, or like he's gonna get lunch for him?
He offers to buy them lunch, but then he doesn't have enough money for him to have lunch.
Okay. Thank you, because I was a little kind of confused when I saw it today. So yeah, so he tried to offer them lunch, but as you were saying, Jeff, the card got declined lunch, and he gets a call from his mom, and he asks the current girlfriend he has, Pearl, to take him home. They kind of discuss that this is the first time she's going to his house, and he kind of wished that it was in different different circuit systems. But he sees the computer there, and it's been revealed that his little brother, Andre, has been hanging out with some gang members, called the what do you call them? The 100 Street Gang. And so Lonnie goes to confront him, but his brother ran out, and so he later tracks Andre down to the 100's tent hangout, where he's confronted by the leader, Big Dovinan, very kingpin like, and he reluctant the football player that to leave his brother out. So he did this deal exchange where that he will join the gang, not his brother, and so that happens. And now Lonnie is now part of this gang, and they can no longer go near his brother again. So after that, we see Spidey doing his spider activities, and this is where we get the reveal of the two crooks, and now they have these enhanced technology. So we got this boyfriend who is basically a speed demon, a Spider-Man villain that is basically a speedster villain. And then his girlfriend is I was checking this, is Tarantula, another character in the Spider-Man universe. So her knife has what do you call it, laser blades, as stings like a spider. So they fight Spider-Man, and it proves kind of more than a match for the inexperienced superhero. And after he gets kind of knocked out, he gets a kind of a radio frequency from Osborn, and he kind of hacked into Peter's phone. He offers some guidance, and it works. And we get this really terrific action scene that includes with Spider-Man webbing them together, and circling their technology. And pretty much this is wrapping up the episode here. So the episode ends where Peter returns to Oscorp, and he agrees to work with Norman. And then after that, Lonnie meanwhile finds himself into the gang life. So let me go start with you, Cyber. What do you thought about this third and final act of episode 3? Anything that I missed, please bring it up. I think I didn't miss anything, but go ahead, sir.
So literally the rest of the episode, it's pretty decent. I really like the fight sequence. I think it's really entertaining, really fun. With those people, the couple that get those whatever weapons from somebody that they bought. I think it was really fun. We have that great, portion there where, Peter's trying to fight them, and he's doing pretty good, and then gets kind of sideswiped. And then all of a sudden Norman appears in his ear and is helping him out. And we got to get that, guy in the chair type of deal going on, which is really fun. But it's, Norman Osborn instead of being Ned. And I think that's really fun. And I think that the humor there was really done well. The action was done really fun. I thought it was really entertaining. The whole thing with the jock trying to buy them lunch cracked me up, and I thought it was so unnecessary, especially the whole gang thing. The kid getting in trouble and everything, and his brother and stuff like that. That whole thing, that I think it was just so unnecessary. It took away from the plot of the actual story. I think that, him ending up, saying, leave my brother out of it and take me instead, I think was the most stupidest thing ever. And I just was cracking up the whole time going, what the hell are you doing, you idiot? I'm like, seriously? This is going in such the wrong direction. You are basically setting it up, saying, "Hey, I want Spider-Man to find me out and find out that I am doing bad things with this 1000 group." Yeah, it just like it's a total disaster waiting to happen, and I just think it's like so unnecessary for the series. And even like the scene where like after he brings the rose to April, or whatever her name is, Penny. Is it Penny? I can't remember. And like
Pearl.
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 Thank you. I knew it started with a P or something. Anyways, so it, that whole sequence I thought was totally unnecessary too. I thought it was like so stupid. You could talk to me if you need to talk to me about things. Like, really? Like, who cares? Like just get on with the story. But definitely I found it very entertaining, the whole Norman Osborn thing, and then him helping him out afterwards and stuff like that was really fun, and helping him get through that battle with that couple that had these experimental weapons and stuff like that. I thought was really fun and it was really interesting. And then of course, kind of just leading up to the end of the episode, him agreeing and everything to work with Norman, I thought was really cool and fun. And you could definitely see that Norman was very ecstatic, excited about it. And you can see that Peter's like thinking to himself, like, after this whole situation, hey, maybe it is good to have a guy in the chair and to help me out a little bit, and Peter thinking a little bit more about himself too, as well, besides being, Spider-Man himself. But I think, a very fun ending that has a really great action sequences that, that was the best part of the episode. And other than that, I thought the rest was just it was okay. It wasn't the greatest, kind of unnecessary. But overall, I really enjoyed the action sequence in this, and I thought it was really entertaining.
Yeah, the teenage drama is like, whatever, it's very soap opery, typical drama, we see with high school stuff. Jeff, your opinion on the third final act of episode 3, sir? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, similar to Cyber, the entire move for Lonnie or whatever, where he switches out with the gang with his brother, it was the stupidest shit ever. Like, seriously, who the fuck wrote that? Like, where do you put with that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't see that coming at all. Like, that threw me off completely. You know what I mean? I knew it was bad when Lonnie went to when Lonnie went to the gang hideout or whatever. I was like, oh man, this is not good. This is not going to be good for him. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't think he was going to be so stupid as to actually trade places with his brother. That wasn't a very logical move to make. You know what I mean? So that was just kind of stupid. I don't know what I think of this whole, them going in the direction of the brother's the gangbanger now, and now they got to get gangs involved and all that stuff. I don't know if that was necessary, really. But this was a improvement episode compared to episodes 1 and 2. I thought it was a better episode. It was very watchable. The Harry Osborn, the way they're using him so far works for me. I didn't know what to make of those two people, that chick and that dude that Spider-Man fought at the end of the episode, that had the inventors weapons or whatever, the super speed, feet things or whatever, and the swords or whatever. They seemed a lot more dangerous than they should have been. You know what I mean? They took on the whole army at one point or whatever and beat the army. They have New York scaled down so much. New York seems so small in some of the scenes, compared to how big New York really is. You know what I mean? In most movies or animated or whatever, New York's huge, so it's just strange in some scenes where they make the city look small, and there's not a lot of people on the streets, which doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But I mean, you know, besides that, I guess the final battle against the, you know, the Blade chick and the fast chick using like Harry Osborn's help or whatever was cool, you know. You know, besides that, my final thoughts of the episode were that they got to change that costume, you know, because it sucks. You know what I'm saying? That episode 3 costume was garbage. You know what I mean? And what would have been cool is if they would have gone back and done the blue suit from the 80s, from, you know, from Secret Wars or whatever. You know, the symbiote, you know, colored suit. That would have been cool.
Suit.
Yeah, I would like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'll rate the episode I'll give it a solid 7.
Okay. Saber?
I'll give it an 8. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really solid episode that I definitely, like Jeff said, I thought that it upped the ante from the previous 2 episodes.
Yeah, I agree. I'll put it higher, 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was really enjoyable. I really dug it. Yeah, it's definitely better than the first 2 episodes. I mean, they were pilots, basically. All right, let's get into episode 4 and wrap things up. So
I will say though that I don't know. I really don't know why they decided to have Spider-Man have a love interest that is with somebody else. You know, like in the show. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like
yeah,
that like that, I don't see how that helps the show really. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that's going to lead to like conflict. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like or whatever. You know, like I can already kind of see where it's going or whatever with this gang stuff. But
yeah,
and again, like they so easily could have just tucked Mary Jane Watson in this show or Gwen Stacy.
yes, I know. I kind of agree with what you're saying, Jeff. Like, if they are gonna make
Gwen Stacy would have been perfect.
I know. Oh God, love Gwen Stacy. If they're gonna make Tombstone as the villain in this show, it makes sense what they're doing with, you know, the whole Pearl and, you know, Spider-Man thing.
Why? Tombstone's gonna be the villain?
Yeah, the kid that joined again, that's Tombstone. That's Tombstone. Lonnie Lincoln. And
the head of the gang guy is Tombstone.
Yeah, no, not the head guy. The kid that joined the gang, he's Tombstone. If you see I don't want to spoil episode 6, but it confirms that.
I didn't see episode 6, baby. Come on.
Yeah, but no, I know Tombstone. I know his name. So I'm just saying that this is Tombstone. That's what they're building up his criminal like career, and so we're seeing the seeds right now with these first 2 episodes. So I'm not gonna get into it, but that's what I agree with what you're saying, because they're sort of building up to him as the villain. But we'll see what they're gonna do with him in the first season. But whatever.
Well, I never said that. You said that.
Yeah, whatever. Well, you know, I would say they're building up him as a villain, maybe in this show. You know, there's a lot of villains they're setting up in this season. Anyway, let's get into episode 4. Tile hitting the big time. So speaking of references, Jeff, you brought up earlier in episode 3, we got a big reference on Civil War.
Yep, Civil War. Yep.
We kind of got a confirmation about the timeline. So basically, this movie is basically what Homecoming was. Like, it was like right after Civil War. So same thing. We got the same kind of gist here that the Avengers got fractured because of the Sokovia Accords happened.
It makes no sense that this show is supposed to not be in the MCU, but yet they're having MCU history and MCU stuff happening in the show.
I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm not.
It doesn't bother me. I'm just saying it's weird.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I can see, like, it is weird, but they're doing a good job of making it like a story point. So I don't see it as a problem. But I'm curious where they're gonna do with it. But anyway, so this episode begins with Peter Parker attempting to do a presentation on his magnetic generator with Dr. Connors, but he continues facing the wrath of the nasty Dr. Whitman. Speaking of Dr. Whitman, I think he's a villain. He's Dr. Whitman is another Spider-Man villain named the Jackal. So that's another setup, another villain there. But anyway, so he does this presentation. Dr. Whitman kind of scolds Peter Parker of his like very shy kind of presentation, and then Osborn sends a guard to like pick up Peter to like meet up to his office here. And by the way, very funny to see where the one lady asked the whole people, including the guard that was sent to pick up Peter, to raise their hands. That is kind of weird that Norman is like calling out Peter, and that was a very funny scene there. And then it was very funny when the Wakanda student, I don't know, say something that was like very funny. But anyway, so Norman summons the teenager to his office, where he bumps into Harry here. So we see Peter meet up Harry for the second time, but without being Spider-Man. They got a really cool talk, and you see kind of forming their relationship here. So now with the sun out of the way, Norman puts him and Peter in lockdown so they can talk privately. And then here we get the social your cards in place that we see like a very visual reimagining of the airport in the Germany still happen here. We see Bucky and Captain America and Ant-Man, there. But without Spider-Man there. So that's the weird thing there. So like we don't get Spider-Man in Civil War there. And then confirmed that Captain America and Bucky are on the run, just like what we saw in Spider-Man in Civil War. So Norman vows to take care of the Chorus for Peter because the Chorus say that the superhuman enhanced people had to register or get punished or get in prison. So that's what happened. And this whole episode, I like this episode. It's okay. It's more of like a very fun episode of like seeing Norman trying to like help out Peter by giving him these like radical different suits for him that isn't really Spider-Man. So the CEO has created several costumes for Spider-Man, starting with one comic book fans that were recognized as the Prodigy. That was really cool. That was like with the suit cape. The test supposedly the test well when the suit cape gets caught, and then during the heroes attempt to stop a mugging, and Peter takes a beating, which was very funny. So, and then after that, Peter tries out this like steam suit. I don't know what you call it. Another disaster for Spider-Man. He cannot get the grits with the wings or the stingers, and the dust definitely isn't going to work after Peter. And then he wears another suit that was like a Batman ripoff, and like he captured he retrieved a balloon and terrifies a girl. So, and then after that, just wrapping up, we see again Lonnie Lincoln, aka Tombstone, having a quiet time with his girlfriend, Pearl, whatever, is rooted when he's summoned by Big Davidan. And he doesn't appreciate that his new recruit is sitting around studying and sends him to pick up a full order in a hostile Gan territory. So let me stop there, which we'll get into. So let me start with you, Cyber. What do you thought at the beginning up to, Lincoln was summoned to the gang leader to get some food. So go ahead.
Oh, geez. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, go ahead. Just go.
Yeah.
You're throwing big chunks at us over here, motherfucker.
Yeah, yes, there is. So I mean, basically, like how this starts off. I mean, really, this episode is about Peter trying out all these different suits, and once again, just gonna go there. The whole Lincoln thing, the whole that thing is so stupid. I could care less about that whole side story. I think it's the most stupidest thing. As we mentioned earlier in the last episode, him taking over for his brother is the most stupidest thing ever, too. But the whole like Spider-Man trying out different outfits and stuff like that to be these other superheroes, basically, and change his name from Spider-Man, I think is absolutely hilarious. Especially that first one where he's basically uh he's got like that whole like getup that almost looks like a Sentry a little bit, like a superhero with a cape type of deal. He like gets caught up as he's trying to stop those thieves from doing what they were doing, which was funny. And then we have him try out another outfit that's almost like dragonfly like, or whatever you want to call it, and he's like flying around and he's got a gyro, and then so that was absolutely super hilarious. Basically, those kind of those funny kind of moments were probably the best part of the episode. In between, Norman and Spider-Man trying to figure things out and stuff was absolutely freaking funny. But then once we get up to the end point, like I said, the whole Lincoln thing, I just thought it was so stupid and so unnecessary for the episode. So they should have just stuck with, Spider-Man trying out the suits, which was super funny. So basically decent up until the point we get to Lincoln having to go get that order.
Yeah, it pretty like Cyber said, I'll reverberate his words. It's pretty decent. Follow up from episode 3 to go into episode 4. It's the montage of the different suits is kind of lame. Like it's okay, but it's not really that necessary to the plot or the story really all that much, like it's just kind of there, you know what I mean? Some of those suits are really dumb. Like that first suit Cyber said is really dumb, like it's really terrible. It makes no sense, and it's funny when he wears the black suit or whatever, and the chick's like, "You freak," or whatever, and he runs away. Yeah, I kind of like the Norman working with Peter deal. Like it works, that part works, and like Cyber said, I can't really talk about it because we're not at the point in the episode yet to get into it, but the whole deal with whatever his name is, Lonnie or Linton or whatever the fuck his name is, being in the gang is just stupid. It's obviously going to go in a bad direction for him. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to cause him to break up with that chick, right? And they're going to break up, and that's going to be all dramatic or whatever, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very predictable.
Yeah, it's typical, but we'll see. Yeah, what else are you gonna do with the show? It's a very teenage drama show, so, and I did agree with the suit montage. It was kind of like okay with these like very goofy suits, like that. It was the point of this episode, like it's not Spider-Man, and so when he gets to that like future Foundation suit, or like similar to the suit he wears for the Fantastic Four Future Foundation storyline. But yeah, we'll get into that. And speaking of Lincoln, honestly, he's we follow him. He goes to this like Mexican like restaurant where it's a hostile gang territory for the scan that he's in now. And he meets Camila Black, a member of the Scorpions. So we get our first mention of the Scorpions, and he warns Lonnie that Big Dominant will be seeing their bond soon, which we learn from Big Dominant that it's Matt Gargan, the Scorpion villain. So we get this like really cool. I actually kind of like this actually in terms of the other gang. Like we're gonna get this Scorpion soon. And Mark Garten. So he's in charge of this group. Very interesting. And so Big Dominant's plan to work though, because now that Black has seen his face, Lonnie needs the gang's protection because it will affect his neighborhood and all of that. So afterwards, we see Peter and Norman have a heart-to-heart kind of conversation about what they want from Spider-Man. The billionaire is hoping to create a perfect hero who is better than the Avengers, and he sees Peter as the next generation of hero. With that, he presents him with the Oscorp suit. Okay, the Oscorp suit. That makes sense. And so I think we'll get into the final act here. It's another great action sequence here. Swinging into action. So Spidey stops a Russian gang. So we get here Dimitri Summerfunk, aka Chameleon. That was really great. We got Mikhail Stavicic. That's the Rhino. Yeah, I know. So we got Rhino here as well. I knew it was Rhino. I knew it was that. And then we got this other chick, Mila, that's called the Unicorn, another villain from the Spider-Man Rogues. And then we got this random chick named Roxanne that's just a made-up character. And so we see them, they're like robbing something. They were hoping to get enough of them money to make a deal with this mysterious inventor that we've been seeing throughout since season episode 2. So very interesting. And so so Spider-Man swings in. He saves a couple of civilians from like a fire accident from the robbery chase scene, and then he does catch up and stop the rush again, except for the Unicorn villain. She escaped, and so after that we see him returning to Oscorp here, thrilled with his new suit and unmasked, without realizing he done it so in front of Harry Osborn himself. So now the son knows that Peter is Spider-Man. And speaking of, you were saying, Jeff, about how early we're getting the secret identity reveal. Like I'm fine with Osborn learning that quickly because that's probably the point of the story. But I was surprised they're gonna do that with Harry in this episode. So like the fact that we're getting Harry now knows his identity is kind of crazy. So we kind of end with that part. But we kind of get a post credit scene here. So we get the Russian criminal that escaped from the custody. He takes some cash to the inventor, who we learn is Dr. Otto Octavius, aka my favorite Spider-Man villain, Dr. Octopus, aka Doc Ock. And pitch black, that's the end of the episode. So let me start with you, Cyber. What you thought about Spider-Man talking to Norman, having heart-to-heart and getting the new suit, and then up to the end point when we get the reveal of who is the inventor. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically the conclusion of the episode is when it really starts to kick off and it gets better. And so we have that great heart-to-heart with Norman, which is really great, and we get the reveal of the new suit, which happens to make me think of Anti-Venom. That's what the suit makes me think of. It doesn't make me think of Spider-Man. It makes me think of Anti-Venom. But still, it's kind of an interesting looking suit and definitely something different for them to go with. And leading up to that, after having that great heart-to-heart and then going into like this action with these Russian characters, which was really fun. I thought the action sequence was done really well. Lots of great action, great comedy from these characters. We get introduced to these characters that are different characters from the Spider-Man franchise and stuff like that, which is really interesting. And then of course that reveal at the very end with Doc Ock, I was like, whoa, Doc Ock! I was like, that's awesome. And so I thought that was really fun and really a great little cameo there at the very end. But really solid ending, I thought, to the episode. Very exciting, great kind of like little cameo at the end that really helped spruce up the episode and made it a little more entertaining towards the end of the episode. So I think, it helped bring the episode back up from kind of where the dirt it went into.
Yeah, I agree. Very excited to see Dr. Octopus again. Love him. He's my favorite Spider-Man villain. Jeff, your thoughts on the final part of the episode, and were you excited for Dr. Octopus, sir?
Yeah, seeing Dr. Octopus was awesome. That was like the coolest part of the episode, probably. That was the highlight of the episode, was seeing Dr. Octopus there at the end. Like Cyber said, the episode picks up in the second half. Once they nail down one suit for Spider-Man, which is a much improved suit too, like the one that he has finally is a much better improvement than the original one. Like, I'll say that, right? I don't know about the color scheme, but it's a much better improvement suit, and obviously it has some technical abilities too. So it's cool that Spider-Man has a tech guy now. He's got Osborn to help him out, being Spider-Man. That's cool. And seeing him save all those people and all that stuff was awesome. Seeing him being Spider-Man, doing his thing, learning the ropes, being a hero. It was really, really solid. The whole thing with the van and the Russians and all that, like running into the cops and then running from the cops and then, like getting arrested and all that. Like they were kind of funny. Like some of their dialogue was funny, but they were kind of like filler. Like they didn't really accomplish a whole lot. You know what I mean? So yeah, seeing Doc Ock was a highlight. I'm looking forward to seeing Doc Ock in episode 5, hopefully. But that's it for me on episode 4.
Yeah. Really great episode. Definitely a step down from episode 3, but I think it's still very, very good. Like, I mean, it's definitely better than episode 2. So, there's definitely still a high point for the show. So let's get into rating. Let me start first. Like, let me get into the rating. I would rate this episode like a 7.5 out of 10. Decently good. Nothing really special. Just, another typical Spider-Man episode of learning who is Spider-Man. But just, it was another filler episode, but getting us to the main plot point that we're going to see in this season. Cyber, what's your rating, sir, for this episode?
All right, for this episode, I'll give it a 5. Simply for the fact that I felt it really dipped down from the last episode, and it really only picked up at the very end of the episode. So I would have to give it a 5 for that last portion of the episode. Other than that, I thought, the beginning part was kind of not the greatest, but I still thought that the suit thing was kind of funny, even though it was kind of dumb at the same time.
Yeah, the suit thing is very dumb, very weird. Even he is trying to be Batman in that third suit. Jeff, your rating of this episode?
I'll give it a 5.5. I'll give it 0.5 on top of 5 because they had a original Avengers movie, Battle of New York reference in episode 4.
For Battle, for the first Avengers,
so I'll give extra points for that. Once again, they're bringing the MCU up in the show. Like they went right back to the Battle of New York and all that. So I think that's interesting that they're doing that. You know what I mean? That they're obviously they're going to keep doing it. It'll be interesting to see what other superheroes they bring around in the show by the end of the season. If they bring any in, you know what I mean? Obviously, we're going to see a lot of villains.
Yeah. I know, like Daredevil is going to be in the show, so we're going to get him. We already saw Doctor Strange early in the first episode, so yeah, we'll see. So that's the end of our discussion of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man episode 3 and 4. Thank you so much for joining us for this live recap and breakdown of these episodes. Now I'm gonna give it to Jeff to plug us out here, and I hope you guys enjoyed this awesome panel of tonight review.
Thank you, Andre, the pop culture guy. Thank you, Cyberneticshark, sir. What's going on over at Cyberneticshark?
All right, so been a busy couple of weeks. So as you can see there, my most recent video up there is my worst films of 2024. Finally got that up a couple days ago. we'll be having more stuff up soon for you guys. Just, unfortunately, getting sick and all that kind of stuff really kind of dampens the creativity. But as you can see there, if you are looking for anything to check out for Cyberneticshark solo content, you can find Worst Stuff 2024 and also the Love Hurts trailer reaction. Haven't done any news shorts yet. Just haven't really watched anything new. As you can see, there's still a Real Pain and Night Bitch there for you guys. So if you haven't seen any of those recent ones, definitely check those out. I'll be having more stuff up for you guys soon, hopefully. Be finally doing my Wolfman and Flight Risk reviews here finally soon, and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah, just keep on watching, keep on subscribing, keep on keeping us going, keep on watching us here on the MCU's Bleeding Edge, and definitely keep on watching all of the great Mr. Pop Culture guys stuff too as well. So we appreciate it, guys, and you guys are rocking it.
Most definitely. Everybody out there in the MCU's Bleeding Edge land is wonderful, and we appreciate all of you. And Andre's the pop culture guy, sir. Take it away.
Yes, thank you. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. It was a pleasure to moderate this episode. Of course, next week Jeff will take over from me for episode 5 and 6. So recently, I posted just 2 scenes from movies at TV. I think yesterday I want to thank Jeff for joining me for the live stream review of Justice the Snyder Cut. We kind of compare and contrast what was different, what was better from the Whedon cut and all that. That was really fun. Plus, we did trailer reactions on the trailers that we discussed today, Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. That was really fun. So thank you, Jeff, for joining me today. This month I'm gonna have another live stream review for February. So, but I just didn't think what movie to do it. But anyway, I did some shorts. I did one short here, over here in New Jersey. We had a great snow, so it's really great. Crazy that it's doing well. So that's something. I definitely gonna go back and do a movie review. So I need to get around doing my Conclave review. I actually recently see the what's the movie with Andrew Brody, The Brutalist. Great film. I'm gonna make a movie review on that for the shorts, and I hopefully, if I get around here, I'll start do a movie review on recent films, and similar to my Andreas Pop Culture Retrospective review, but more recent stuff that I seen with my friends and all that, and just kind of like what Cyber's done. And I started a new comic read. Is Space Ghost is like an origin story for the classic Hanna-Barbera cartoon. If you haven't seen that show, so it dives into the Space Ghost origin. It's going to be 6 parts, so watch out for the next 5 parts in this month. So thank you, everyone.
That is right. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you. Hopefully you enjoy our Monday MCU's Bleeding Edge Report shows. Hopefully you enjoyed our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man reviews tonight. We are back at it on Friday for Cyber's pick, which is Constantine, the Keanu Reeves classic, sci-fi, cult classic. So Constantine on Friday. Hopefully we'll see some of you then. In the meantime, like, subscribe, comment if you like. We are a podcast as well, so check us out on all of the podcast distribution platforms, because you can find us all on all of them. We will see you on the next one. And for Cyberneticshark, and I'm a pop culture guy, and for myself, Jeff S. TrueKnowledge, peace.